Hey guys, this is No Solution. I'm Scott, and today I want to talk about one of my favorite bands that is criminally overlooked. And I was hesitating to make this video because of the name of the band. Please, please don't be offended. It was a dumb joke that was made 25 years ago, and the name stuck. And the band is called the Fags. As you can see, there's a cigarette there. The album is there. This is their sole full length called Light 'Em Up. So it was supposed to be a silly pun. Um, Actually, members of the band were kind of annoyed about the name and wanted to change it, but other members didn't. So what they are is a really awesome power pop band. I guess in the vein of Cheap Trick, if I had to compare them to somebody, but I like them. I like their songs way more than Cheap Trick. Just super energetic and catchy, and it's one of those that I can play it over and over and sing along to every word. Little bit of history, I guess. The Fags came from this band, Horse. This is their sole full length called Happens Twice. Two of the three members of the Fags came from this band, and well, I guess the other one kind of did too. So John Speck is the guitarist and vocalist and main songwriter. Jimmy Paluzzi is the drummer, and you may know him from Sponge. He was in Sponge when they had their big hit a few years before this. It was like 93 or 4. I don't remember the name of the song. And then someone named Robbie Graham on bass. And the producer of this, Tim Padicklin, who owns a recording studio and is an engineer and a producer. So he recorded this for them. This is kind of... I guess a punkier take on alternative rock of the time. When they were signed to, they had a big Detroit following and had some songs that they had self-recorded and had some songs on local radio. They signed to RCA, and the John Speck tells the story of when we were signed, RCA was like, "Oh my God, we love you. Don't change anything." And then as soon as they signed him, they said, "We want you to sign more like Everclear." So right away there were problems. They had to remix this album like 4 times before the record company would accept it. And by that time, the stress of it all had just kind of caused the band to fracture, and it kind of fell apart. So that was the end of Horse. But John the guitarist, and Jimmy the drummer had an idea for another project, and they needed a bass player, and their producer from Horse, Tim Padicklin, plays bass, so he kind of stepped in, and they were playing not really a secret show, but they were just like opening for somebody just kind of to try some stuff out, and they didn't have a name, and I think it was Jimmy, I think that's the story, he suggested the name The Smokin' Fags, because who cares? Like, they didn't know if they were even going to be a band. They just wanted something funny to put on the poster. And John, according to John, he was against it, but he's like, whatever. Well, I guess a lot of people who are Horse fans heard that 2/3 of Horse were playing together, and so the show was pretty packed, and now everybody knew them as the Fags. So that was the name. But at the time, I mean, you got to think this was like 2000. The name that word was not as charged as it is today. I mean, for better or worse. I'm not making any judgments, but no, I've spoken with these guys, and there's no hate in them. It was a dumb joke that then it kind of stuck, and that was their name. So anyway, in 2002, they put out the EP, the self-titled EP, on Idol Records. Incredible. 5 incredible songs, super catchy. 3 of these ended up on the full length as well in kind of altered versions. I listen to this, then I put on the full length. It's just I can't get enough of them. And this is dirt cheap, man. I was on Discogs, and I've seen copies of this for $1, so it's definitely easy to get. I would highly recommend it. Then the story takes a turn. Much like Horse, they get some buzz, and there's a bidding war for the band, and eventually they signed to Sire Records. They record their full-length album, and then nothing. People aren't returning phone calls, and they can't get any answers to any questions they have. Then eventually one of the band members goes on the Sire website and sees that they are no longer on the roster page. That's how they found out they had been dropped. So the album had been recorded, and Sire technically owned it, so they had to wrangle and fight with Sire to try to get the album back, and that took like 2 years. So they finally did get it back, and eventually put it out on Idol Records again, the label from their EP. So 4 years between the EP and the full length, and yeah, just a crying shame. And once again, I'm going on things I've read in interviews and stuff that, John had said that they got an advance of $25,000, which was supposed to cover everything, recording the album and everything. So they each took $5,000 to live on, and then $10,000 to record the album. Their contract was for $50,000. But then when they got dropped, they said, well, all right, we'll give us the rest of our money. And of course the accounting was on point, and they're like, nope, actually, you owe us for this dinner and this and that. So they were lucky to get their album back, basically. But the stress of all this, the band fell apart. They did one show, an album release show, in 2006, and then that was it. I mean, they'd done shows before that, but I mean, after the album was out, it was just that one show. And they were done, or so we thought. The 2016, there was an announcement that we're thinking about getting together and doing a 10th anniversary show for the album at a bar called Smalls near Detroit. So I had gotten into this band a couple years after they'd broken up, so I was so happy and excited. I just couldn't wait to finally see them, and I got to go and I got to see them, and yeah, they recorded a DVD of it, and the members all signed it. So yeah, one of my favorite concert experiences ever. Just getting to see a band that I thought there was no chance I'd ever get to see. So they got a little buzz after that. Like, there seemed to be people were flying in for this. People that used to live in Detroit, they remembered them, and they started to pledge music for a new album. I think originally they had said they had some demos that they wanted to clean up, and then they were planning to record some new songs. So they did not meet their pledge goal. So rather than not do anything, what they did was they had a few songs, and then some people could pledge, I don't remember, a couple $100 and have the band cover a song for them. And it was supposed to be just like a private thing, like they'd send you the file of the song. Well, they asked the people who had pledged that if they would be okay if they put it on the CD, and everybody said yes. So this is the kind of second full length. It's called I'm With Her, and everybody signed it. So it's 12 tracks, actually 13. There's a hidden cover on here, but it's, I think I counted 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there's 5 actual new songs on here. One of them is a live version of a song that they played at the concert that wasn't on the album, and then the rest are covers. There's Ray of Light from Madonna, Black Concert T-shirt from why am I blanking? Watershed, the band I just talked about in the previous video. Power Slave from Iron Maiden. Kind of interesting to hear a power pop band cover that song. Motor City Madhouse from Nugent, of course. There's the hidden track is Rise Above by Black Flag. So not really what we wanted, but any new material from the Fags I was stoked to get it. And yeah, you can't get this now. It's gone. There was one little other thing to show. This is a tour EP that was a promotional deal, I guess. I think it's since been released by Idol Records, but my version has, see, we got a little hype sticker here hyping the upcoming album. And yeah, mine says property of a record company for promotion use only, Sire Records. You can see that there. So yeah, that was the big push for the album that they ended up not putting out. So yeah, kind of another downer rock and roll story, like a really promising band that was just fucked over by the record companies and broke up because of it. So that's the story of the Fags. Yeah, in the full length, you can also get that super cheap. I think I was seeing it for $5, brand new. So if you're into power pop, if you're into catchy rock and roll music, I definitely would recommend it. I'll leave a couple links below to some songs so you can check them out for yourself. All right, guys. I hope I hope the name of this band doesn't get me nuked from YouTube, but if so, nice talking to you all. And if not, I'll see you on the next one. Later.